Today we build the Samurai Gundam. This was the most voted for kit. If you guys didn't know, we like to do votes here and the audience decides on the kits that we build. And honestly, I am super excited for this build. It's got this awesome stand, this gold background, a great variety of weapons. We got a spear, a couple different spears actually, as well as katana and a cool gun on it. And I am super hyped for this kit. This was one of the ones that I had somebody send to me as a gift. So I'm super excited to get this build underway, and I am super excited to see how it turns out. And let's get into this here unboxing. Alright, we're ready to open up this kit, and honestly, I just think that the artwork in this manual is so incredible, and I wish that they would just do stuff like this more often. This kit comes with a great variety of weapons. You get a cool sword and a couple spears, along with that awesome specialized hand cannon that fires beam shot. And you can see it's got a picture of the Mark II Shin Musha here, which I'll be building pretty soon, and I can't wait for that because both this suit and that one as well have some just great designs, and I love to see it. Let's get into this build. So this inner frame here actually isn't the best. It's just a couple pieces smushed together, but the rest of the suit does have an inner frame. Like the arms and legs are pretty good, and of course the legs have that pre-built inner frame, and it uses screws to tighten them into place, much like the early real grade frame. And I found this build to be pretty simple. You just really got to pay attention when you do the legs, because you have to make sure you're twisting them the right way. And here is that great artwork that we love to see. And I haven't decided if I have space on my wall for this one yet, but I want to make room for it. I might do a little alternate universe section, but we'll figure that out when we get there. And I always love going through the manual first, because I just like looking at the schematics and everything just coming together, especially this beautiful display, because there's nothing like it in any other kit except for maybe the black version of this kit, but it's very unique. I wish Bandai would do more backgrounds like that. Now we're going to be taking a look at these decals and these stickers. You get these caution stickers, and then of course you get some dry transfer decals for all your cool customization and stuff like that. Now we're going to be checking out this kit. It has got 18 runners, including the stand, and that thing is just huge. Sometimes I like to do high grades to break up my big builds, but once I get to a big build, I just love taking my time and doing all the detail I can, and just really making it as best and as beautiful as possible. This Shin Musha Gundam was released in 2008. As you can see on screen, it was $52, but the Sengoku no Jin version released shortly after in 2009. That is my version with the display. That one was $94, and there's also a black variation on P Bandai, and that's actually in stock right now. If you want to order that, I'll show it on screen what that looks like. Personally, I really like this version better. It's got the red and gold classic look, and the other one is black with a sort of metallic red to replace the gold. And I also really love these chrome weapons when they come in kits. I think it looks way more premium, and it makes the kit look way better when they do the weapons like that. And if you guys didn't know, this Gundam is actually based on the 1 Year War version of the RX-78, which was released in 2005, also known as the 1.5 version, as it came between the 1.0 and 2.0. Alrighty, it's time to start on this here build. And right here I am starting with the stand first because I really think it's beautiful and it's just big and bulky, so we want to get that out of the way first. It's got these cool little signs, as you can see here. One says Shin Musha Gundam, I think the other one says Musha Gundam. And I wish Bandai could do some more backgrounds like this with some more kits in the future. And here I am starting off with the torso, always trying to file down the middle. It's very important to get your parts to fit together, especially ones that sandwich together like leg pieces or torso. And you want to make them nice and smooth and make sure they have a great fit, so you always want to cut the extra nub off. Make sure you file it down a little bit, and here I am lining up the inner frame so it looks nice, very beautiful. This is just an extra little step I like to do sometimes. Even though it gets covered up, it's still fun. And sometimes it pokes through and it just looks great. We're gonna get started on this here armor, putting on the outside of the torso. It's got a nice glossy black finish, as well as this gold. Both of them are very prone to getting fingerprints on them. The red's not too bad, but you might want to buff it off, or if you're real particular, you might want to wear gloves on this one. It wasn't too bad, so I didn't wear gloves. I just tried not to touch the gold all that much. But here we have it. Now we are done with the torso, and it's absolutely beautiful. You can see on the back of the torso there, and that upper piece doesn't quite fit all the way. You got to push it down pretty tough, so be wary of that going in. The next thing we're doing here is getting started on the head. Of course, we're going to line up this face so it looks amazing. And I also really like the design on this head unit. It's basically an RX-78 with a samurai helmet, but the lining on the helmet is great. I've heard people having troubles getting the stickers on the red pieces to the side of the face, but it wasn't too bad for me. I didn't mind it too much, but the lining on this here helmet is absolutely beautiful, so that is surely a must. We gotta line that one for sure. And for those of you who don't know, the Shin Musha Gundam was actually a design that was created with a collaboration with Dynasty Warriors Gundam on the PS2, and the Shin Musha Gundam appears in the game as a secret unlockable character that you can play as, which I think is just awesome. And now we have finished the head. I've got those gold stickers on there, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. Got a sticker in the front and back camera. There's a couple color correcting stickers on this kit, not too many. Let's just assemble this head onto the body and get started with these here arms. As you can see, the inner frame doesn't take long at all, and I've already got that part assembled. So we're just going straight into figuring out this here armor, trying to get the gold out, and making sure everything is the right way, and paying attention to those directions, lining up this white armor and making it look good. One thing that really saves me a whole lot of time and might be helpful for you is when you're doing a limb like this, be it an arm or a leg, instead of just doing one limb at a time, just go ahead and do both of them, because the pieces are identical, and as long as you keep the left limb on one side, the right limb on one side, it makes it so it's easier not to get confused and do the pieces backwards. And then the kit will take you much less time, because once you do the whole thing front to back, if you have to go back and do it again, it's a lot longer, and it's a lot easier to just do it both steps, do 2 steps at once, be like one arm here, but it's the same action for both with identical pieces. Okay, so it's much easier to do it twice in the moment than to come back later. And here you can see I have got both the arms mostly built now. We've got these old school master grade articulated hands, not the best. They can vary greatly depending on the kit. Some work better than others. The only thing missing from these arms now is the red gauntlets, as well as the shoulder guards, which we will be assembling later. And now we are doing the smaller shoulder guards that go underneath the big ones, and these are going to be connected to the shoulder piece and then have some bigger armor on top of it as well. And now here we have completed the top half, and it is looking great so far. The only problem we're having is with those arms being a little loose and that piece on the back of the neck not wanting to go down all the way. But other than that, this kit is definitely a beautiful design. We're going to be getting started on the legs. But before we do the legs, of course, we have to do the feet. So here we are. We're just going to take these out and then line these up good, make sure they're filed down so they fit. We have got our panel lines on the red part, and then we're going to be doing some silver here in the middle, as well as blue for the inside of these thrusters on the feet, and it's just looking absolutely gorgeous. And I love doing detailing. Little steps like this will really take your kits to the next level. And there's been a lot of people that don't want to line on the bottom of the feet like this, but it just adds so much more depth when you do a kicking pose, just to see those panels coming out on the bottom, and just a little bit of detailing here and there. Coloring these thrusters can make all the difference. And honestly, you really can't compare what the foot looks like when it's not lined versus seeing these panels on the bottom. And now we're going to be getting into this leg for sure this time. And an important thing to remember when you're doing this is you want to make sure you know which way these are going, and otherwise they might pop off a little bit. And you've got these screws as well to keep it nice and tight on the joints for extra stability on these legs. And we're going to be detailing this here inner frame as well. We're going to be doing some gold and some silver on these pistons just to give it that extra detail and to make it look pretty. We love to make our kids stand out, and the more you do stuff like this, the more it's going to stand out, and the more people will praise you on your ability. And stuff like this, like I said, it just takes it to the next level. It's quick and easy and simple for you to do. Just get you a Q-tip, make sure you clean up around it so it looks good, and it just really makes a huge difference. It's a shame we have to cover it up with a little bit of leg frame, but you will still see it poking out when we bend the joints. And that finished result is just amazing. You gotta love that. That's some great detail right there. And we could have also lined these panel lines on the legs too if we wanted to, but we're just doing a little bit of metallic detailing because we want to keep this video under an hour long. So we must put the armor on top and we must keep going. We're getting pretty close to a final assembly here. We just need to get these leg armors put on. But before we do that, we are going to show off this inner frame one last time before we cover it up. And here we go. And we're also going to be covering up this black with some more armor on top, some red and gold, as well as a little bit of white on the back of the leg there. And honestly guys, there's a lot of little things like that you can do to level up your kits, and it's all about personal preference. Some people like to line more than others, some do detailing more than others, and the best part is you just make it your own and make it unique. That's what I'm about anyways in my building adventure, so however you like to do it is good for you, but just be aware of these little simple things that can really improve your game and take your kids to the next level, because it doesn't take long. All you need to do is get you a little Gundam marker and start practicing with your decals, and you'll drastically improve the looks of your kids. And if you want to keep going, you just got to get some metallic markers, maybe silver, Sharpie, gold, things like that, and that's going to also drastically improve the looks of your build. And now you can see here we have got the leg mostly put together. We're just going to put these red little signs on the knees here. And that's good. So now we are moving on to the waist. We have got this cool armor going all around the waist, and you have to put it together in individual pieces, and I like that. And I like that it wasn't all molded in one piece and you actually assemble them. They've got these cool white pipes on the end. Not really sure what those represent, but it looks very cool. The armor is very nice looking, and it definitely adds to the samurai aesthetic. And honestly, I just can't wait to take this guy and pose him and do some cool photo shoots. Just do some samurai battles and things like that. And I'll definitely be posting a short of an edit of that, I'm sure. And now we have the final assembly of our model. Not the final assembly, but the preliminary body assembly before we do these armor pieces and these weapons. He's looking absolutely great so far. We just got to finish up our armor and our gauntlets, but man, he is already looking beautiful. And this is probably one of the top designs in my collection because I really like the samurai aesthetic, and I'm a big anime fan, so everybody loves sword fights, and that's what this mobile suit is all about. And I hope everybody out there is having a great day today. Let me know what everybody's building in the comments. I want to hear what you guys are working on. And if you've seen my boxes, let me know some builds that you guys want to see. And I'll be doing another vote soon, so that way you guys can decide on another build that we'll be doing next. I got a couple ideas for some high grades I'll be doing in between, but I'll be letting you guys decide our next big build. So get excited for that. It's going to be coming soon. We're building up our backpack and putting a little bit of red inside the thrusters. We are moving on to our big shoulder guards, and you can see we have already built our gauntlets, so we're getting pretty close to finishing this bad boy. We just got to build up these weapons. And we finished up our shoulder guards. I really love how this looks. Definitely adds to the design. Although the regular shoulders it has now look good by themselves, it definitely is going to step it up with these. Now we have our katana built. Beautiful. Not as big as the Astray Red Frame katana, but it's doing the job. I'm sure the spears will be much taller. For those of you that don't know, this kit also comes with the parts to make the Gundam hammer. You just gotta find a chain. It comes with the handle, as well as the spike ball, the little individual spikes to put in, and the ball itself. And of course, how could I forget about our hand cannon? This is the Tanegashima gun, and it fires beam shots as much as it doesn't look like it. And it looks more like an old school rifle throwback design, which I can appreciate. You guys, I am so excited to finish this build. We have got our big old spears done. We have the Yari spear, which is a 3-pointed spear weapon similar to a trident. And then we have got our Naginata, which is wielded with 2 hands, and it can be stored on the back along with the Yari and the gun. And there is a piece to store the sword on the hip. And as you can see with our Naginata here, we had a little bit of trouble with the bottom pole piece fitting into the red handle. We had to glue that peg in and put a little tape around it for security. And now, my friends, it is time for the reveal of our Shin Musha Gundam. He is looking absolutely amazing. This is one of my most beautiful kits to date. We've got our decals put on here, and he is just fantastic. We're gonna be throwing a couple pictures on the screen here so you guys can see just how great this design looks, and then we're gonna be getting into our review. Alrighty, my friends, we have finished our build, and this guy is just absolutely beautiful. So you know that means it's time for the review. But before we do that, let's go ahead and showcase some of the stuff we got here. You get this cool katana, and of course you get this rifle, these sweet shoulder guards, this epic display with these 2 giant spears. And if you haven't noticed, he also comes with enough parts to make the Gundam hammer. The only part missing is the chain. You gotta find your own chain, but you get the spike head and you get the handle. And what I did is I just sort of hooked the end of half the link on the end. I cut it in half and I hooked the end and put it in one of the spike slots, and then I just clipped it together, and there you go. It's inside, it's hooked in there, it's secure, and then I just pulled the chain over this little thing right here. All I did was pull the chain over this, and there you go. It's kind of heavy, a little hard to pose with, but it works. And the reason that it has this is because this kit is based on the 1.5 one-year war version of the RX-78. So you got those old school articulated hands. So that kit comes with the Gundam hammer, obviously, but we're missing the chain. That's the only piece. There's actually a couple things I want to bring to your attention about this build, but let's just go ahead and give this guy a quick look over real quick. It's very shiny. You got to be careful not to get the fingerprints on the gold. And we did a little bit of detailing on the inner frame, as well as the backpack, and these thrusters here are red on the inside, and then we have these thrusters here which are blue and silver. And then of course we also have the neat inner frame on the leg there. As you can see, we didn't get all of it to show up, but you can see some of it still, so that's pretty good. We got our stickers, and the borders are super noticeable on the black, so I went with some water slides. I added my own sort of spin to a lot of these positionings, as well as adding my own water slides in order to make it unique, as I always do. And this guy is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and show off this other one. We got our 31 right there. This is our 31st kit. I also love the flame decals on the waist and the wrist, and of course I put one on the head there, so that's super cool. We got the 31 on the backpack, a couple caution signs, little chrome. So a couple things about this build. So as you can see up here, this gold piece doesn't come down all the way, and you got to be careful with these gold pieces. They can get fingerprints very easily, and you got to wipe them off. I usually just wipe them off with a dry Q-tip, and you can see here I tried to panel line this, and the alcohol made the gold fade away. So be very careful. Do not use alcohol on this gold. It will strip it. Another thing I noticed is this arm comes off a lot. It comes off very easily, especially when you raise it upright and you try to get a pointing upwards pose. Is really hard to get down, and for some reason it seems like you have to put it on this way and then twist it down, so that comes off a lot, as well as these here wrists. I don't know if it's because these black things aren't going on here right. I think that one's backwards because I put them in and out so many times. I just got tired of dealing with it. But these wrists are popping out a lot. These hands, actually, they can hold the weapons better than you might think. The only real downside is the weapons don't actually have peg holes, but they can hold the weapons. It might just get a little bit frustrating trying to get the right pose you want, like especially holding the spears upright is difficult, but I got a few good pictures in there too. You just got to be patient with it and go with the flow. The arms and the hands popping out really was the biggest issue for me, and I think the rest of the build was pretty fun. The build process itself was really fun. This kit doesn't have a whole lot of inner frame, mostly just the arms and legs. The backpack and the torso doesn't have much of an inner frame. The torso has a little bit of an inner frame, just not very detailed. A couple pieces, I think. But honestly, this build, it had a few issues. Obviously, these arms keep wanting to come out, and these hands could be better, but the process was fun in and of itself. But we're also having problems with our crouching ability. These legs can't get very much articulation. You see now they're getting a lot more, but that's only because the side skirt just popped off. So when the skirts are in place, you actually can't get that much range of motion, and it's hard to crouch as well. I think I'm gonna give the build on this one a 6 out of 10, guys. We just got too much stuff to ignore. The arms are popping out when you pose, the hands are popping out at the wrists, you're not getting sturdy on the weapons. But the build itself was fun, but the articulation is not quite up to par. But this is an older kit, so I will say for an older kit, it was actually really good. It's just not holding up to today's standards. This is one of my only red label Bandai kits that I have. The other one is the Shin Musha Mark II, and then also the Full Armor Thunderbolt. Every other one I have is blue, so this here might just be because it's an older print, so maybe it's a little bit more stiff. But we're gonna give the build a 6 out of 10. But this guy looks absolutely beautiful. You should know I'm definitely giving the appearance a 9 out of 10 because this thing is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to pose it and do a nice cool sword fight with my stray red frame. And it also makes me very excited to build the Shin Musha Mark II as well. Hopefully the hands on that one will be a little bit better. So let's go ahead and check out our articulation on this guy. You got to be careful because you can see once the shoulders start bending a lot, the arms start bending a lot, you got to make sure you press them in. So it takes a lot to do that, and they'll go up and down, but you can see whenever you lift it, it's gonna fall. So we got our double jointed elbow. Not very stable, but you can get some good poses if you're patient. You just gotta move slow and be very, very careful with it, and it will do the right job. But the arm does go all the way around, so that's good. You get your 360 rotation, although it's not very sturdy. And you gotta be careful because actually when I did the arms, I did them backwards by mistake. This piece here you can see looks like it's off center now. But I had the piece in the other arm by accident, and then after that I had to do some arm surgery. I had to take it out and replace it. So I think I got it in place now. So you gotta be very wary of that. So you gotta be very careful. As you can see, I dropped a piece there. So these arms are no joke, man. These things are a little fragile. Okay, there we go. I think he's secure now. Man, that's painful. That's honestly, guys, that is not ideal. That arm is really an issue. I didn't really notice how big of an issue it was until I tried to demonstrate the articulation. As well as these legs right here. I mean, they have such good articulation by themselves, but you can't do anything with the skirts like that. You can't do anything with the front skirts like that. So a lot of range, a lot of potential in this model, but you can't just leave the skirt off. That would be ridiculous. So maybe you can... Okay, maybe mine weren't just like worn in enough. Okay. Okay, I take back what I said. Maybe you can get a crouching pose. Okay. Yeah, I take back what I said. I guess I just didn't have mine bent forward enough. But it looks kind of silly like that, so... That's interesting. I didn't know it would do that. So let me go ahead and retract my previous statement about it not getting a crouch. But that's good. That actually helps it a lot because that arm was not doing it any favors. That means we can see our awesome detail right here. We can get our side kicks. We can't get very much upwards motion in our legs. It looks like they are just front and back motion. You get a lot of range, but our sideways is very limited. So I think we're gonna have to give our articulation a we're gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10, man, because that arm falling out is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But he has a lot of fun weapons. Another thing that's really hurting this kit is he's not able to hold on to the weapons in the air upright. You can hold the sword or the gun. The gun has a peg hole, the spears do not, so it's very, very hard to hold the spears in an upward position or a swinging position. You can mostly just do a thrust or a standing position. But as far as weapon variety goes, it's very, very nice. You've got these 2 giant spears and they look amazing. And you get this katana, which is cool, and you get this awesome gun, which you can see I detailed with a little bit of silver and gold marker. And then you get also the extra pieces to make this. You just gotta find the chain so you can make the Gundam hammer if you want to. And of course you get this awesome display stand, which it's not an aerial stand, but it's a background and a display nonetheless. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. And I love this background. It looks really, really good. I think we're gonna have to give our weapons we'll give the weapons a 9 out of 10. You got pretty good variety here. The only way to make it better would be to add some peg holes onto those spears. And I'm absolutely loving this kit. I just think it's awesome. Let's go ahead and put this one back on here. And just so you guys know, these can go up and down as well. So if you want to do that, that's also an option. They go up and down and around. You can do like that with them. So that's pretty cool. Honestly, I am super excited for the Shin Musha Mark II as well. I just hope it gets upgraded with those hands. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for me on this one. We have reviewed our Shin Musha Gundam. He looks so beautiful. These looks are did I say 9 or 10? I don't remember, but I think these looks are a 10 out of 10. The articulation was not good. It was a 4. The weapons were a 9 out of 10. And the build was a solid 6 out of 10. We'll catch you guys on the next one.